Hello and welcome and happy Christmas to all of us. Today we are looking at 5 features of a good scribe. We are looking at six skills of a good scribe. What is a scribe? A scribe is a writer. Someone who writes. He may be writing for different purposes, but in this case we are looking at somebody who is employed for purposes of writing for people with special needs. It might be for old people, it might be for students with special needs, as we see in schools, but this person could be also employed in other areas. We know that we have what you call, maybe he might be called different names in different settings, but in special needs and inclusive education we call them scribes. But these are just writers. Like, you could have secretaries, you could have lawyers, you could have journalists, you could have all kinds of writers. So these are scribes. And like I said, a scribe, in terms of inclusion, is somebody who is employed for purpose of writing for people with special needs. It might be students, it might be elderly people, it might be any other purpose. So basically, we know that we come across this word in many different forms. We meet this word in terms of journalism. We meet this word in terms of courts. We meet the justice system. We meet this word in terms of in the Bible we hear about scribes and Pharisees. These were people who were leading in terms of the organization of those cultures then. But really a scribe is a writer. And in this video we're going to be looking at a scribe in terms of special needs. Hello and welcome to this beautiful video. I hope it will help a lot of people. It will help human resource officers or consultants when they want to employ scribes. We see a lot of scribes increasing, especially in schools, and this tells us that there is higher need or an increasing need for scribes across all area. So this video, before we go any further, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Shirley Ann. I am currently the principal consultant at Taboshi Inclusive, formerly Taboshi Investment Pty Ltd. We are a general inclusion company, consultancy company based in Gaborone, Botswana in Southern Africa. I am a trained special and inclusive educationist, and also have trained in management and leadership, among others. I have vast experience as a journalist, having worked in several media houses in Botswana, and also have represented journalists and writers in some civil society. Have worked as a vice president for Writers Association of Botswana, and also have served as an advisor in the National Human Resource Development Council of Botswana. I have worked more than 10 years as a teacher and a coordinator of inclusive education program in public schools in Botswana. And in that position, I have trained a lot of teachers, of parents and other professionals, including scribes. So hello and welcome. I hope my expertise, my skills will help you a lot in these videos that I'm doing, because I'm using my experience, my past experience, especially in coordination of inclusive education. And of course, in this video, I'm also using my expertise as a writer and as a former journalist. And you can see how I'm combining my journalistic abilities, as well as my inclusive education training and other training like in leadership and management to come up with these videos. I hope this video and many other videos that I do will help you a lot. Hello and welcome. The Google Dictionary describes a scribe as somebody responsible for providing accurate and legible handwritten record from personal dictation of students in exams. It says someone who's responsible for providing accurate and legible handwritten record from personal dictation of students in examinations. That is the dictionary that I got from Google search. Yeah, but I want to correct a little bit. A scribe can be used in many other areas apart from examinations. We can have scribe for all people with special needs, like in terms of elderly. If they want to write something, they can employ a scribe. We see that word being used in journalism, because as a journalist, I take it that you write what is happening accurately, and in most cases you can also be using handwriting. And with the issue of handwriting nowadays, we see a lot of technology that replaces handwriting. So you could be using your apps, you could also be using your tablet, you could be using your laptop, or you could be using your computer generally. So basically it is no longer, maybe I think this definition is outdated in one way or other, but really a scribe is a writer. And in special needs, we use writers in different settings. For students with special needs and examinations, or tests and examinations, we also use a writer in terms of, for students who might be having, the students with special needs might be having some defects on the hands due to them, such as accidents or road accidents. They could be students with intellectual disability. We are seeing a lot of students who cannot express themselves in writing, but they're able to express themselves verbally, and they need somebody who can transcribe what they express verbally into a written format. So this is the areas where we use scribes. And like I said, old people who might not be able to see might also require some scribe. I also want to say that, to emphasize that even though we say a scribe is a writer, it is very important to also realize that a scribe is also a reader, because in as much as he or she writes, he will be required to read in the same process. So a scribe, in some instances, they're called readers and writers, even though we know that predominantly they are writers. So this, I just wanted to lay a foundation what we mean by. Okay, let's get to the real deal now. 6 features of a good scribe, or 6 skills of a good scribe. The first skill is that a good scribe is a good listener. More often than not, scribes are also readers, or let me say, scribes have to listen in order to be able to write what other people are saying. And if you have to write what other people are saying, it may be students, it may be elderly people, or any people with special needs, then it means that as a scribe, you must be a strong listener. You don't want a scribe who will time in and out be asking for people to repeat what they said. What I've discovered with students is that the more you ask them to repeat what they say, the more they derail. They might have given a good answer at first, but if you have to keep on asking them to repeat themselves, they lose that answer. They change the answer completely. And so a good scribe should by all means become a good listener. The second aspect is that a good scribe should be an articulate reader. More often than not, scribes are also readers. And in most of the reports that I've seen, they are also called readers and writers. Because sometimes you write for somebody, but at the end of the day, you have to read what you have written. So if you cannot write, it's a problem. And in exams, you actually have to read for the learner and then later on write his or her answers. So it means that in as much as we call scribing writing, it goes together with reading and writing. So a good scribe is an articulate reader, not just of one subject or one language, but of all subjects or of all languages. The third one, if you want to hire a scribe, you should be looking at him. He should be an all-rounder in terms of subjects. At high school, students are doing different subjects. And you might find that there's maths and science, there's languages, there's also other cohort of subjects. So a scribe should be an all-rounder. He should be able to understand mathematical formulas. He should be able to understand mathematical expressions when he sees them. A situation where a scribe cannot even tell that this is a pi, like a pi symbol, it's a problem. A situation where a scribe cannot tell what certain expressions or what certain symbols represents is a problem. A situation where a scribe cannot read the Bible, as we know that many people are struggling with reading the Bible, is not a good sign. A scribe who cannot read, who is not well-rounded, or who is lacking in other subjects will surely pose a challenge. And so a good scribe, number 3, is an all-rounder. The fourth one, as a good scribe, understands disabilities and special needs. He has at least a basic knowledge and understanding about disabilities. A lot of people do not understand disabilities. They don't know what being elderly or being old means, for instance. They don't understand what it means to be hearing impaired, what it means to be visually impaired. So you need somebody who has at least a basic knowledge, who has been introduced to mental health issues, or who has been introduced to mental disabilities, so that if he has to write, for instance, for a child with intellectual disability, he understands the condition of this person. If this person has to ask certain questions, then this person would understand why. If this person has to behave in a certain way, you should be able to understand why. And also so that you can be able to serve this person correctly and accurately. The fifth aspect is that a good scribe as a servant, he's humble. He does not feel intimidated by people asking him to repeat questions, because we know that people who cannot really become humble, who cannot serve. So a good scribe is a servant. He is here to serve this particular person or these particular people, and he should be able to take instructions from such people. He should be able to read again. He should be able to read aloud when asked to. He should be able to lower his voice if he has to. He should be able to take instructions from this particular person who might even be younger than him, like in terms of learners, and a proud learner who cannot succumb, who cannot be humble, who feel intimidated by being a servant is not a good scribe. It's not a good sign. And then the sixth and last aspect is that a good scribe is strong mentally. A good scribe is confident. A good scribe is stable mentally. He is not easily intimidated. He's not easily frustrated. Scribing can be very, very frustrating because sometimes you are writing for a learner who's struggling academically and you can see that this learner is going astray. But you have to write what this learner is saying. So you have to be strong mentally. You have to be strong mentally. So a good scribe is somebody who's mentally fit, who's mentally strong. So these are the six features of a good scribe. If you want to hire or you want to employ a scribe, look out for these six. These are the six basic ones. I have worked with scribes for in a very extensive period for over 10 years coordinating inclusive education program, and I have learned uh, how to employ scribe, how to train them, how to identify good scribes. And I hope this video will take you a long way. Thank you very much.